going to look at some things in the PCTV market, looking at cases versus single ETBs and some of the plays that could potentially be made. Some of the ETBs I just sort of like saw open the ones that TC players show that are available. Also, some interesting thing with Paradox ETBs cases I'm going to look at. So let's just get started. So everyone knows that Obsidian Flames has been rising a lot lately. It's at 755, and the last couple of days it hasn't really been selling. It finally sold one yesterday. But yeah, you do see the price rise to like, let's say 750, 730, like 790, like there's some 800, but that's kind of the range it is right now. And kind of the power I've been seeing by looking at the case comparison is that some of the cases are way more expensive than the normally TBs, but some of them are actually more affordably priced. For Obsidian Flames, about 750 times two, that's 1500 times two again, that's 3000. So it's actually about so it's actually there's actually quite a bit of premium per PCTB. These are about like $1,000 each for Obsidian Flames PCTBs, and it's interesting to see what people are actually buying because you'll kind of see things like this for some of them where in the like not too long ago these weren't selling for nearly as much, like 1500 July, not too long ago, just like 2 weeks ago, sold for about 2000, and then just about a week ago sold for about 3600, which is like $900 ETB. Now it's like $1,000 ETB. And like these are the sort of things that you might see just because of the scarcity of these things, especially PCTB cases. I don't know how many, like I'm sure some people have them like lying around, but these aren't like booster box cases where you could just get them super easily, blah blah. The issue with PCTB cases is that like they are kind of harder to get because you can only get them from one source. They might limit your orders and stuff. Whereas booster box cases, it's not as hard to get. I know in today's market, but relatively like it's not as hard to get booster box cases. You can just get them from LGSs and stuff. And even a lot of like normal people have them. But yeah, there's one left at 4,000. It's interesting because you just see like these things can really go crazy. In general, a lot of the PCCB price has been rising. So yeah, I'll just example one, Obsidian Flames. Let's look at Paldea Evolved. So Paldea Evolved's at about 700 ETB. It's been selling more the last couple of days. It's on the rise. You see this like flatter and then sudden rise of Paldea and Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames kind of went first. So it was a little actually less recent. But yeah, Paldea Evolved is at 700 right now. Recent sales were, yeah, it had just sold for 700 recently. Before I was like 650, like 650 to 700. There's quite a few around 700, and then it goes 800. And most of these sales, that things that people were buying at, most of these prices, they're just anticipating future rises because a lot of the PCTPs, even like the worst ones, have actually rose based on like data I'm seeing. But yeah, no ETB cases sold this month. I think like in the last 3 months, none sold. The last sale for Paldea Evolved PCTPs was actually I don't even see anything. I guess the data is not showing or something. But right now these are listed for about 3,000. So that's about 750 a ETB versus about 700 over here. So honestly, not the worst markup. $50 more for a Paldea Evolved PCTP, especially if you anticipate that the price is going to rise to 800 anyway pretty soon, which probably will happen. It's not really that far. So that's potentially a deal. So I'm sure other people do this sort of analysis. After that, it goes to 3,500, and these prices kind of go kind of crazy because yeah, the supply is so little that the you can just decide what the price is. After that, it goes to 3,500, which is quite a bit more expensive. That's like nearly 900 ETB, or actually 875. So policy a pickup there. I'm sure other people are doing this sort of analysis too. Twilight Masquerade has had a bunch of recent sales. I see people are buying Twilight. It's a pretty cheap. PCTB at about 155 is a lot of like newer ETBs which are around the same price. It's mostly because the promo has been that popular, and it's been selling for like it was in the 140s before. It's suddenly risen. It rose about like $25 recently. Actually, this is or at least $10. The ETB cases are selling for 800, so they're about $200 each. There's like two of them available. Before that, they were selling for 750, 700, 600. So this is actually early August. This is like more recent. So this is like 700. They've sold kind of recently, and so 700 divided by 4, see 800 divided by 4 is like 200, so it's like 175. So like this is also like a $25 markup. And if you think that this is gonna rise like 170, 175, so it's the same price they buy a case. These cases are gonna have a much larger premium in the future because they're just going to be so much more scarce. Especially if you can get one in good condition, because you don't really know what you're getting when you buy online. But otherwise, yeah, this is not. It wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to like 900 pretty soon. You're also anticipating that like, okay, you might be like, oh, like why would I buy the case when I could just buy cheaper? I mean, the case is gonna go up too, so they're both going up quite a bit. Stellar Crown has been selling a lot more lately, so I'm seeing definitely like a lot of these cheaper sets are definitely rising. This kind of reminded me of Sword and Shield, where like Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies and all that they rise first to the most expensive ones, but then these cheaper ones are just they look like deals. PCTVs are really that like to be crazed after. These have been selling a lot more lately. You're seeing like just demand kind of go up, prices have risen. They used to be like 125, now I see like 175, so up like $50. Um, and actually, yeah, that's like 235 now, to 250 for the cases. Like 250 times 4 would be 1200. So this is like quite a bit of free premium. This is like a $50 premium per ETB case. There's only one left, and someone did buy the cheap one recently. So this is like 175. So it's actually a pretty cheap a few days ago. So someone already made the play on this, and so this is what I mean. Like people are already doing this. For this one, this isn't too bad. There's only one left. I don't know what the price on eBay are, so you probably want to check eBay too. But yeah, people are already making plays on this. So Surging Sparks looks like it's about 300 now. It's been rising. Three sold the other day, one sold today. Recently, it's been around this range. Let's say 260, 265, 280, 300. And then the cases are going for only $25 more per ATP. That's really not that bad. So you see, like that's a better margin than even Stellar Crown. People have been buying these up a little bit more. So two sold August 28th, two sold August 26th for cases. There's only 8 left. So they've been selling for about 1200 ish. Before that, they're selling for about like 1,000. But yeah, these are about 1,300 now, and they're starting to rise more. Surgeon Sparks is definitely a good longer term sets. So it's also if you're planning to really hold these, also for the future, like like Stellar Crown, like it's okay, but like Surging Sparks, like definitely a much better set. Except for the promos, like not so great. 151 has been reaching toward $1,000 lately. It's probably gonna get there soon. So PCTP's demand has picked up a little more. One sold yesterday, and I just keep saying like the number like I saw this yesterday. There's one left under 1,000, so pretty much it's like $1,000 um, ETP for me. And so honestly, this price is great over here. About $4,000 is about just under $1,000 at ETB. It's still pretty good, and there's 3 people buying them. Don't be surprised if these get bought out once this hits like $1,000. This is probably a really good play for some people, and it's definitely really expensive. The only issue with buying the cases for this, I don't know if this applies for the other Scarlet Violet ETBs, but I have heard things where the cases, if you open them, they don't always have like the proper logo or something. Like the main difference between, let's say, the ETB sleeve, like this outer thing, is it has the Pokemon Center logo, but some of them have like the stamp to have the stamp pro, but they don't have the Pokemon Center logo on the box because some error thing. So that's the only issue with these 151 PCTV. So you might have to do your research, but otherwise, like don't open the case anyway, and you can sell it off, and you didn't really know what was in there anyway. Um, and then Paldean Fates is, let's see, 3,500. It's also gone up recently, and yeah, it was it was only like 1,200. Just about a month ago. It's pretty crazy. Now it's like 2,500. Now it's like 3,400. So this has gone up a lot. People have already bought enough the cheap cases for Paldean Fates. 2,500 divided by 4, it's like 625. I don't know what this is. like we're getting to like crazy numbers. This is, yeah, pretty much a $600 ETV now. It suddenly rose about 600, and this is probably gonna keep going up. I think this is gonna make a run. Paldean Fates has been really crazy lately. I don't know what's gonna stop it because it's not like the supply is gonna suddenly appear. I don't think Pokemon's like really just in the prediction for Paldean Fates unless they predicted this. But yeah, this is just a huge markup. Let's say 2,500 per 1,000. So that's 750 plus another 100, 850 plus like 875 per PCTP. So like the markup for this is insane. Um, if you think that this is gonna go to like 875, or what did I say, 775, 875, I think 875, then yeah, then this would be an okay play. Shroud Fable, the meme one is actually getting buffed, so this is one of the cheapest PCTVs. A lot of people, some people speculate Shroud Fable because they don't really expect Shroud Fable to be reprinted that much, because no one really likes it. And so, because of that scarcity, it might become like a Rebel Clash, Sword and Shield based situation where there's not a lot of it. The PCTBs were on Pokemon Center for a while, but yeah, they're selling for about 120 ish now. They recently, looks like they recently rose from like 80 to 100, probably more like 100. PCTB cases like times four, it's see $70 difference, about $20 more ETB. I don't honestly rather have the Searching Sparks ETBs, but these are, except for the fact that these are nice and cheap. These are just 550. These have been being bought up more, so people are already buying these up. They were at 500 before this, and it's more than 550. This hanging towards 600, even 675. So there's that. I have Astral Radiance pulled up here. I just, part of this for me is just marveling. Like I remember the Astral Radiance PCTVs were on Pokemon Center for $60 for so long. Like even like years ago it came out, and I remember I got a pre-order. I was so happy, and then I didn't realize that they just printed it to Oblivion, where it was up even several years later. I think it just sold out like the beginning of this year. Yeah, like sometime around the beginning of this year, I think it sold out. So it hasn't even been sold for that long. But yeah, these are at 150. I know everything's up, so it kind of makes sense, but still, it's like it's 150 now. So this times four is um 600, and then so that's about $130 difference. So divided by four is $30, so it's about $30 more per ETB. Possibly a play. Just actually, this isn't the best set. This isn't the best looking ETB. Although in person it does look purple or something. But it's just Sword and Shield, so some people think it's kind of safer. And last thing, for all this case stuff is like Paradox Rift. I just happened to pull it up, and I was looking for the ETB case, which I couldn't find. So I don't know. Like, someone tell me if there's actually a PCTV case, because I couldn't find a TCG player. Actually, wait, is that it? Am I just missing things? No, there's like these set of two ones, but there's no like case. Um, but what I noticed is that, like the ETV cases are out of stock, and I was like, what's going on there? So there's normal ETB cases. The ETB cases come in sets of 10. Um, and yeah, they're out of stock. I think recently there's actually this is the set of two. Yeah, this is the ATB case, no listings. They were selling for like 700 something, and they were kind of bought up. I don't see these anymore, so like I'm just wondering, hey, did people just miss out on these products with ETB cases? Like I don't know if these are the best investment or anything, but like if these are not existing, then it's kind of strange. like like you wouldn't really think that these would be gone, but like you kind of think it kind of makes sense. Like why would they reprint products ETB cases? People probably opened them already and stuff. I don't think people were saving them. People would rather store the booster boxes. So I'm just like, hey, if you can find any of these, I'm just wondering if this is a player. Even on eBay, I like searched and I couldn't find anything. All I could find was this one listing, which was sold pretty recently. It's kind of cheap for 10 UTB, especially for a case. But otherwise, I couldn't find anything. I would find sets of two. I'd find PC UTBs, whatever. But I couldn't find it. So if you have these, like, could be a pretty good buy. And then the final thing for Paradox, since I happened to be on there, I saw the booster box price. I was like, oh, the booster box price has gone up quite a bit, and now we're starting to have a premium. I think this is like 275 per booster box versus Paradox is like 250. So these have recently gone up, which is really good because Paradox has been so undervalued for so long. It's not a lot of cases. It could really go up to like two higher, but we'll kind of see. But yeah, I also want to look at like booster box cases. But Paradox, really, like you could have bought these for $600 like a year ago. Actually less than a year ago, like December or so. Still good gains on these booster box cases. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.